Hey, I'm Scotty T from Your Comedy Minute. I've got David Rusk, a comedian from Connecticut, who is just fabulous. I love David. David, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I hear you're a little under the weather a little bit there.
Yeah, no, I'm not like sick right now. I'm just exhausted. My friend and I went to New York yesterday and we did 5 mics and I didn't get home until like 3 in the morning. And I drank wine. I forgot how bad wine hangovers are with all the sugar. I'm not awful. I was a lot worse this morning, but I'm feeling all right now. This is a super fun day too. Like
Well, tell
I've
tell
gone
me all about it. Tell me what were you doing in New York?
The whole goal was just we wanted to go down and do as many mics as we could. So
Okay.
we went down, took the train, then we went to Broadway Comedy Club, did 1 mic there, and then around the corner there's a place called Producers Club that had mics just back to back to back to back to back, like six, seven, eight, nine. So we just stayed there and did four. And were you ever into the Opie and Anthony show at all? Or
Yes,
Howard
I'm
Stern?
familiar with it. Yeah.
You know Sandy Kane, who was
No, I
on
don't.
there? Oh well, she does the naked cowgirl stuff in Times Square. She was at the first mic, and I recognized her from the show. And then we just ended up hanging out like the rest of the day, and she's fucking insane. It's great. She handed me like she has like a business card that's like the size of one of those little drink menus you'd see on the table at a restaurant. And on
Okay.
there, there's just like pictures of her in Times Square with this tagging with the stickers on the bottom hiding nipples, and there's a link to one of her porn videos and like a screenshot of it. It's the craziest thing. It was super fun.
Okay. I wanted to talk about on your YouTube channel, it says urinary tract infection.
Yeah. I'm really bad at bios. I don't know what to write there. So I just
Well,
write like the first
I
thing.
did, I saw it and I wanted to tell you, I did one of these with a young man and his said free chlamydia if you subscribe. So, you're now, do you get it if you subscribe? Will you get a urinary tract infection? Is that what that's about?
I can't promise, but I hope. That'd be
You
my dream.
you hope for the best.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll start a Patreon one day, and one of the lower sub prize tiers will be a free urinary tract infection given to all
Okay.
subscribers by yours truly. But
Without
no, really, all that is like I'm really bad at writing bios. I feel weird like writing something about myself.
That's okay. Yeah.
So a lot of it is just like urinary tract infection. I have AIDS. I have a loaded gun in my desk at work. It's just a stupid thing that I think of
Right.
at the moment.
Well, I want to go back because you were talking about New York and the open mics. How would you say they went?
Uh, First one I did was pretty rocky. Just
Okay.
a little weird. Not the best set ever. But then the ones after that, like they just kept getting better every single time. It was
Okay.
awesome.
Well,
And there
let's
was
go back
one.
because I kind of want to go back because we kind of jumped ahead because you wanted to tell me about New York yesterday. But let's start with you and I know this from talking to you before. You've been doing stand up for a little over 4 years, is that right?
No, I wouldn't say over 4 years because I've been very on and off with it. Like,
Okay.
I mean, like the first time I did stand up was like 4 or 5 years ago,
Okay.
but I'll be into it for like a couple months and then I'll stop for a long time and then
Okay.
I'll get into it a little bit again. So I'd
Okay.
say like even though technically the first time I did stand up was 4 years ago, I'd say maybe I have like a little under a year of experience once you like
Okay.
put it all together.
Well, and you touched on the fact that your first one was a little bumpy yesterday, but after that, it seemed like you got calmed down. Everything was good.
Oh yeah, yeah, it was super fun. Especially the second one at the Producers Club. It was really, really good time. The first one was like just, to loosen up, just get in the mood. And then the second one, it was just over and over again. There was one time I went up for 6 minutes with zero plan whatsoever. And I just made up everything on the spot and interacted with the crowd and all
Wow.
that. And it went really, really good. So
That's
I think
great.
I really want to try doing that more often. Like I usually do 2 mics a week in Connecticut. So I think one of those mics I'll go no plan at all, and then the other one I'll do written material because I really
Yeah,
want to like practice like just being like on my feet on stage. You know what I mean? Because that's a really
absolutely.
important skill to have as well as written stuff. But you
Sure.
know, just
Well,
stretching
I'm
out those
doing,
muscles.
I just announced this morning, I decided I'm going to do my 104th live, YouTube live on Thursday. And I have
Yeah,
a whole script. One of these days I may try to do that with no script, but my fear of doing that, especially when I'm doing a YouTube live where uh, I kind of like it to flow because it's just me without a net for a half hour. I feel like
yeah,
I have to have some kind of at least cheat sheets to go by. But
yeah.
you're right. You're right in the sense that the funniest stuff is usually when I go off script and I'm just, talking about some story.
Yeah, of course. Like sitting and writing is weird. It feels unnatural to do, but like once you do it more and more, you get a better sense for it. But it's like, I mean, when are people at their funniest? It's when they're hanging out with their friends and they're having a good time and they're just
Right.
talking bullshit. Like, you ask anybody, they'll tell you that that's when a person is the funniest that they could be, when they're just the most comfortable to say whatever. So that's really, the point is I'm just trying to be able to do that, except on stage in front of people that I don't
Right.
know. Do you
Well,
do
now,
like open mics or shows or?
no, go ahead. I was just going to touch on the fact that your YouTube channel, you started the Craig Hawkins podcast.
Yeah.
And, again, I wondered why did you call it the Craig Hawkins podcast, not the David Rusk podcast?
Well, I do it with two friends of mine,
All right.
and we were trying to come up with the name for the show, but we just couldn't figure out one that didn't sound. We couldn't figure out one that we liked, so we just decided to name it after a guy that doesn't exist.
Okay.
And that's a funny story. The other day, I thought it would be funny to actually find someone named Craig Hawkins and have them on the podcast. So I just Facebooked Craig Hawkins and sent a message to somebody. And he said he was down to do the podcast at first. But once I explained to him why I wanted him to be on the podcast, he just didn't respond and blocked me.
Well, the latest podcast is called Dirty Weed Smoking Hippie. So
Yeah,
maybe he took a look at him, and I know people that say, "Yeah, Scotty, I would love to come on your show." Then they take a look at some of my shit, and they, nah,
yeah,
I think I'm gonna pass.
yeah, I get that. I don't have any problems with weed at all. It was a silly name that fit into something we were talking about
Oh
before.
no, no, no! Again, I don't. Whatever trips your trigger, whether
Yeah,
it's
right.
wine or whiskey or beer or weed or mushrooms. I have a very close
Yeah.
friend that loves mushrooms.
I
Teaches it.
I've tripped a handful of times. It's just not for me. I've had
Yeah,
like I've had three good trips and three bad trips, and
yeah.
honestly, like the risk of having a bad trip is not worth
No,
the
yeah.
feeling of
It's not
having a
for me
good
either.
one. It's
It's
like it's
not for me either.
very ooh,
Well, I wanted to talk about because one of the other things that you do, obviously you do the stand-up comedy and you're now doing the podcast, but you make these videos. And I told you how much I liked the first one, and then you put out another one called Pick Up Your Dream Girl in Four Easy Steps. And I got to
yeah,
tell you, David, that was absolutely priceless. That was really, for all of you, I'm going to put David's links to his Instagram and his YouTube and everything, but you really want to check that out. It's called Pick Up Your Dream Girl in Four Easy Steps. That was
yeah.
fantastic.
I had a lot of fun writing that one. That was I'm kind of going through a breakup right now, and it kind of sucks. So I really just
I don't mean to laugh. I'm
no,
sorry.
I get
I
it.
don't mean to
I get it.
laugh.
No,
I'm
you're
sorry.
fine, man.
It's
But
her loss. It's her loss.
like
You
the
know what I'm
day
gonna say, David?
after,
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I hope you don't get back with her. Fuck her.
no, she's a cool
Now, if you
lady.
get back with her, I'm sorry, sweetheart. You're a lovely young lady.
No, the day after it happened, I was feeling shitty, and I really didn't want to just like lay there and do nothing and play video
Yeah,
games. So I just got up and it's like I have no idea what I'm gonna make a stupid PowerPoint presentation about, but I'm gonna make something. So then I looked through the notes in my phone. I had some things like that. I was like, oh yeah, that could be funny. And then I
That's
just spent
great.
like all day long writing that one. And then the
That
next
was
day I finished it up. And those
it
are
was
a lot of
fantastic.
fun. They're a lot of fun to write. I really like those a lot.
Well, and that's what makes it. It's comedy gold. I
Yeah.
shared it on Reddit, and there were people that commented, that this is just fantastic stuff.
Yeah, they're
I don't want to give it away, but I really like the 55 gallon. Was it 55-gallon drum you need?
oh yeah. Yeah. I
I
said
think.
one of the tips was that women like a handyman. So even if you don't know how to be a handyman, you can collect tools like a 50-gallon barrel or a saw, or I forget what the list was. It was the whole
Oh,
premise of the video is it's
yeah.
basically teaching you how to stalk and murder somebody.
Right, 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 right. What's
But
black and
there's
blue? Hey, David, what's black and blue and doesn't like to have sex?
a penguin that's upset.
No, the woman locked in my basement. Hey,
Uh,
David, can I do you want to do one or should I do another one? I got another one for you.
do I want to do one?
Yeah, you do one and then I'll do one.
All right. Did you know that rice is actually made out of a bunch of tiny Asian people? And that's why it fixes your phone when you put it in there?
And they dry it off.
Yeah,
They dry it off for you. These little tiny Asians.
yeah. They have a bunch of little paper towels that like you couldn't
Okay,
even see,
okay. Well,
like
let me ask you
microorganisms.
this, and we'll try and go back and forth here a little bit. Um, what do you give a dead baby for his birthday?
You know.
A dead puppy.
Okay, that one's pretty good.
You like that one?
Yeah, that one's
You
funny.
like that one? Okay, you want to go
Uh,
again? I got a couple. I got two more I can do. If you want to do two more, you do one, I'll do another one.
every now and then I won't feed my goldfish for a day or two, just to remind him that I'm in control.
Okay. Okay.
It's a fun one.
What's
I don't know.
what's worse than biting into an apple?
Biting
Or
into
no, I'm sorry. I messed it up. See, now I you got me laughing. What's worse than finding a worm in your apple?
Holocaust, I think.
Holocaust getting hit by a
Yeah.
truck. Okay, I got one more. I got one more for you.
I don't know if I have one. I'm trying to think.
I, I'll
Don't
do
do
I'll
too
do
many
mine.
one-liners.
You know, every woman's a squirter if you cut the right artery.
Right. Wow. I asked you before, I'm not sure if you answered. Do you do like open mics or shows or
No,
anything? Or
I'm
you just
not going to
like,
answer. I'm sorry. I can't take any questions right now, David.
it's all good, no worries.
No questions, Dave. I ask the questions, you answer. No, I'm kidding you.
I am the captain now.
The whole idea is that we have fun. No,
Yeah.
I've been on stage. I'm to a point in my life where if I can avoid it, I'm going to avoid it. I probably
Yeah, that's
won't do it
fair.
again. I just don't. I don't know. I'm 61 years old, man. I don't need the bullshit.
Yeah,
My
that's
fear,
fair.
my fear, David, is that I will go after somebody. I, I will
No, I
punch.
get that
It
though.
won't.
Like,
It won't be Will Smith smacking me. I'll be out there smacking somebody.
oh, please smack Will Smith. The world would thank you for it.
I
That
told you. I think
guy.
I told you last time I had dinner with Will Smith one time.
Oh shit, you did tell me that. Yeah.
Yeah, I had dinner with R. Kelly. You liked it when I told you I had dinner with R. Kelly.
You should have poisoned his food. You let us down.
He was, believe it or not, what's wild about that? He was a really nice guy. He sat down at the piano then after dinner and played. He was just a really nice guy.
Yeah. A lot of people are until they're not, you know.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that's true. That's really true. It's funny how people get drug out, that you have an idea of what you think they are, and then you find out, you say, "Holy shit, I can't believe he was doing this or that."
Yeah, it's actually that reminds me, it's a bit that I'm working on. But you know how like someone says something shitty, and then people are like, "Oh, he showed his true colors."
Yeah,
I had an idea for a bit where I don't know. It's basically talking about how weird it is that like someone could be cool for like 5 years, but then like they get drunk and say one weird thing, and
sure.
that one weird thing is who he
Yep,
truly is. You
yep,
know, it
that's
just seems
true.
I have a whole bit all about just like these little phrases, like "don't live in denial" or "he loves me as much as he did the first day he met me." I've had that one in my head for a minute now. I really got to work that out more and
Right.
figure out what to do with it. I
Well,
think it's a good idea.
I find like for instance, I told you I'm doing a new live on Thursday, and I start compiling. I have ideas in my head, but then I start compiling because I do. You probably never seen any of my live stuff. I combined jokes with news, things that happen in the news, with stories, the chat, everything going on. But I start compiling stories, and I'm just going to share this one with you because I believe that there's a lot of humor, a great deal of humor, by putting on the news and seeing that, holy shit, somebody shot somebody because they didn't get their fries at Arby's, or something. That I just
Dude, you
find
have
that
no
shit
idea.
amazing.
I
But
hate
this
the
one I
news
want to
so
share with
much.
you real quick. A 70, and the reason that I find this so ironic, Lancaster, Pennsylvania is about 30 miles from where I live. Not even 30 miles. It's the Amish country. I don't know if you ever heard of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, the Amish country.
My family comes from there,
Oh,
actually.
really?
Plymouth Country, Pennsylvania. I remember, I don't know specifically what part of my family, but I know one Christmas I was at my grandmother's house, and she
Okay.
had like all these like photo albums and
Right.
like obituaries and stuff I was reading through. It was really
Well,
interesting stuff.
wait till you hear this. A 75-year-old man tried to get a threesome with two minors, two young girls.
Of course he did.
I, I don't know, and I don't want to give away Thursdays, but see, those are the kind of stories where, like you were saying, I'll just say his name, Lewis, whatever it is, 75 years old, and then I'll start up with the way my brain works.
Yeah. See,
Because
what I'll usually do for like improvising or coming up with stuff on the spot, it's like I'll have my little notebook. I'll write like bullet points, just like
right,
little things, just in case I get lost. I can look at something and be like, "Oh shit, all of that." Yeah, exactly. That's
yeah,
perfect. That's usually what I bring up on stage with me. It's just like a little list
yeah.
of like half a sentence just to
Yeah,
make me remember
all I need
myself.
is a little clip to tell me where, and just because, if you ever do get on live, or and I may join you in your podcast. You invited me to come over Friday or
Yeah,
Saturday and join your podcast, which I might be able to
yes,
do.
we did.
Um, with that, and this is just the way, and I guess it would be my brand of comedy, where I have so many questions about that, or so many points. Number one, 75 years old, kudos to you, buddy.
I
And
mean, I don't like the way he's going about it, but the fact that
oh,
he
no,
can,
David,
I mean,
listen, I'm making, it's like me doing the dead baby joke, dead
man
baby and
has
dead
endurance.
puppy. But it's more, that I'm poking fun. Of course, I think it's terrible that he tried to pick up two minors,
Yeah, of
and
course.
offered them money to do a threesome. But
Miners
yet
are heavy.
I find that there's some comedy there because it's like 75 years old. Holy shit, Bob.
Miners are heavy, dude. They're like they spend all day like pickaxing coal and shit in a mine. They have their muscles all built up. They're
David.
they're covered in like dust
No,
and dirt, and
David, it's
they
young
would be hard
girls.
to pick up.
No,
Yeah,
David,
I know.
David,
I know.
I know. You're giving me a hard time.
No, no, I'm not. We're
Yes, you
having
are.
fun. They're,
Come on, man. Be nice to the old man. Well,
but no,
so
about what you were saying though, uh, about how like yeah, you made the joke. Obviously, you think it's a bad thing. That's pretty much I'm right there too. Like I've always used humor as a coping mechanism, and it's just in my nature to just laugh and make light of like dark things. I don't want to go out of my way to be like the edgy comedian guy, you know what I mean? I don't want all my material to be like that, but it's like I don't know. I think some people process stuff differently.
Oh
So,
my,
because
yeah,
obviously, anyone who hears that joke, zero of them are going to be happy that that guy tried to pick up those girls, right? So, like,
right,
if there's 100 people that heard it, 50 people would laugh, and then 50 people would be like horrendously offended. And I really
for
think
sure.
like neither one of those two sides is right or wrong. I think it's just about how people process their emotions and the things around them. You know, some people like to joke around and make light and laugh through it, and then other people like to really process and think about how awful the thing is. So I think it's I see people arguing over what you can and can't joke about. I really think there are no things that you can't joke about, but it's like I don't know. I don't think either sides are right. I don't know if that made any sense.
Well, did I tell you? I don't know if we talked before. Ricky Gervais said you can joke about anything you want to joke about, but you have to be prepared for the ramifications of said
Yeah.
joke.
Yes, exactly.
And
Like
to,
I
just to
believe you could.
just hang on a second, Dave. Just to touch on that, I have said since God knows how long that I laugh at the wrong shit.
Yeah,
That a story comes up and it's just and I will find something that I'm like, oh come on, and I poke fun at it, and I've lost a lot of. Matter of fact, I've lost a lot, almost all of my friends doing this over the last 4 years. My own brother is, he thinks I have a vile tongue and compares me to Howard Stern. And I told you that
ill
someone said I should
tongue.
have caution tape put over my mouth, you know. But I
Yeah,
do. I laugh at the wrong shit.
yeah. That's like what was it about? Oh yeah, Ricky Gervais saying that like you can say whatever you want, but you also have to accept that because like you go up on stage as a comedian or just a guy telling jokes, not even on stage or whatever, and you're saying all the things that you want to say. So why can't the person who's upset at you also say the things that they want to say? You
Oh,
know, obviously,
absolutely.
once punches just start getting thrown, that crosses a line. But it's like, I think a lot of comedians are just pussies. I really do. And I'm not thinking of anyone specifically, but people that complain about like, oh, I can't joke about anything anymore, man. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, I can't say anything. It's like, get over yourself. You can joke about anything you want. There's always been people getting upset at comedy. That's been a thing since its very
Right.
inception. I don't know what the
Well,
word is.
your video, pick up dream girls in 4 easy step, how to pick up your dream girl for. That's all. Like you just said, it's about stalking and
Yeah,
and more or
it's
less,
it, it's
yeah.
a it's a
A
very
lot of people, a
tongue in
lot
cheek.
of people would watch that and say that guy's sick as hell.
Well, the
Which
thing is, I
you
mean,
should you should
I
wear that as a badge of honor. You should feel good.
yeah, but I mean, like, I don't know, there's some people that don't have like any sense of irony and sarcasm. Because, like, I mean, you watch that video, obviously, I literally say at the end, don't do any of these things
Yeah, right, right.
just
Well,
because I felt that I
I'll
had
give you an
to.
example, David, of just that point. And it's funny how, the numbers, I'm trying not to get caught up in the numbers on YouTube, and I'll talk more about this when we stop because I want to talk to you afterwards. But I did a joke this week. Uh, my daughter just told me or my daughter said I'm a terrible father. I don't know why she'd say that. I only ever met her once. That joke garnered me 7,000 views.
Word, that's
But,
awesome.
but now hold on. Within about 5 minutes of it being up, I got not funny. You're an asshole, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, somebody jumped in her ass and said, no, it is funny. And it's true because a lot of men never meet their kids.
But
And
see, here's the thing though. Neither of those people are right. I think it's funny. I think it's a great joke, but like saying something is objectively not funny or objectively funny. It's all opinion. It's
Yeah,
all a matter of taste and life
that's a great
experience
point,
and
David.
the way you think about things. I don't know. Some people, it just bothers me how some people think
Some people
opinions are
just don't
fact.
have a sense of humor, David. Some people just don't have a sense of humor.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter how good the joke is or what you say, there's just people like that. Well, look, we're getting low
yeah.
on time. We're getting low on time. Do you have anything you want to add? Because I want you to finish up with your favorite comedy minute, okay? Do you have anything
Look
you
at my
want? No,
phone
do you
real
have
quick.
anything you want to add as far as upcoming shows you have coming up, or you got a new podcast coming out soon?
Sandy Sandy Kane is going to be coming on the podcast. I was talking to her yesterday in New York. I have her phone number and everything.
Okay.
So he should be coming on soon. I have to text her and find out.
Okay.
Thursday, I'm doing a bringer show at
Okay.
Mohegan Sun in Connecticut with the
Okay.
Comics Roadhouse. And that's at 10 o'clock. It's a really late show, but it's a very, very fun time.
Okay.
I think that's pretty much it. I'm trying to think of what my comedy minute is right now. I just, I was a little bit in a rush to start this, so I
That's
didn't
okay.
prepare last time. Plus, I told a few of my jokes that I wanted. All right, I got it. I got it.
All
I got
right.
it. We're good. I got it.
Here we go, kids, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Hold on to something. It's David Rusk's Your Comedy Minute. Go ahead, David.
Hey, I have a lot of intrusive thoughts, and I don't mean like self-hatred, suicidal. I know I give off like a suicide vibe. I've been told that, but I'm afraid of death and getting older. It really freaks me out. The thing that scares me the most is I just really don't want to be a tombstone that emo high schoolers to smoke weed on. Is my biggest fear. But my intrusive thoughts, they're more like, have you ever had like a friend who's an alcoholic or a cokehead, and he's always having these grand ideas that he wants you to get in on the ground floor with? That's basically what it is for me. So it'll be 3 in the morning, and I'm laying in bed, and I'll just, hey, David, you could befriend a Vietnam War veteran with PTSD and bring him to Rainforest Cafe. That's an awful idea. They're not intrusive thoughts about me. They're just random acts of terrorism that I would never do. But it's fun to lay awake at night and think of what would happen if I did. And there you
Okay.
go.
Well, you'd shared before about you performing your first, uh, I guess, talent show or something. You were in line and you kept peeing.
I told you that story. No, yeah,
Yeah.
it was the first time I ever did stand up at my high school talent show.
Right.
And there was like a long line of kids ready to
Yeah.
go on. The entire show was like 4 hours. But I was just so like nervous and I felt really ill prepared. And it was like when you're playing hide and seek, as soon as you hide, all of a sudden you have to piss really bad. I had to piss really bad, but they wouldn't let us get out of line. So I'm just like standing there and like every few minutes just like a tiny drop will come out, but it adds up over like two
Right.
hours. So I go
So
on stage.
when you finally got to the stage,
Luckily my pants were black, so nobody could tell. But
oh,
I
okay.
really could tell. I could totally tell, and I got a rash afterwards. It wasn't fun. How much? How much? How much time do we have? I have another good story
Go
about
ahead.
putting
Go
my
ahead.
pants
We got a
down.
few more minutes.
I asked this girl on a date in middle school,
Okay.
and it was just like a date to go get food at McDonald's,
Okay.
on a weekend. Because what else are you gonna do in middle
Right.
school? And I got to the McDonald's early because I just wanted to be early, and I'm sitting there. And I had to fart really bad. So it's like, all right, let's get it out of my system before the lady gets here. So I fart, except it was diarrhea,
Oh
and
no.
I'm sitting there in McDonald's with like a 2 liter of diarrhea in my pants, and then the girl walks in,
Oh
and
no.
no, the thing is though, I didn't even try to play it off. Like she came up to me and she's like, "Hey, how are you?" And I was like, I'm gonna be honest with you.
I
I
just
know this
shit.
is really weird, but I
I
just
just
shit
shit.
my pants. I'm gonna go home. And then I walked 2 miles home, mostly uphill,
Did
and took
did
a
you two
shower.
end? Did you two ever end up hooking up?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
No.
She might have
I
been
think
a
that was the
keeper.
I think that was
If
the last
she,
time I
you know,
ever
you think
talked to her.
about it, if she would, if that would have an auspicious start, if she'd have hung in there, she might have been a keeper.
Yeah, I could see
Mom,
that.
Mom, tell me about your and Dad's first date. All
Well,
right,
honey, Daddy ate
hang
some
tight for a
Mexican
minute.
food.
Hang tight for a minute. Thank you very much for being here, David. I had a great time.
Of
You're a
course,
funny
man, I had a good
guy,
time
and we'll
too.
we'll do another one of these in a little bit. We'll catch up. We'll see how you're doing.
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
But sit tight for a minute. I'm just going to stop the recording. We got a few minutes. I want to hang with you. Okay.
All right, sounds good to me.
Thanks again for being here.
Of course, man. Thank you for having me.
It was my pleasure.